I'm Mark Manuel for PeepingMoon, and I'm on the spectacular sets of Coffee with Karans Season 7. Sitting across me is the eminent filmmaker and superstar impresario of the world's most popular chat show, Mr. Karan Johar himself.
Thanks, Mark.
We are getting into conversation, but for a change, he's seated on the hot seat and he's going to be taking questions that I'm asking. Karan, welcome to PeepingMoon.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Karan, it's been 18 years.
Yeah.
And the show only keeps getting bigger and bolder and better. You keep getting more popular stars, more exciting prizes, a different format. How have you yourself evolved in these 18 years?
So, Mark, when I was watching the first season, when we were doing the throwbacks, I was like, when I looked at myself in season 1, I felt like I was this innocent child with a head full of curiosity, like an elocutionist asking questions, like good boy. I think my own evolution is very evident with each season. Like with each season, I became even more easier on my couch. I started becoming a lot less worried about consequences. I became more unapologetic, more unabashed, and I just became more me.
Okay.
As opposed to trying to put on like a good boy trying to ask questions that were fun and frivolous, but the way I was asking them was a lot more poised and a lot more, trying to please. Now I'm like, I'm sitting anyway, I'm asking, I laugh if I have to. If I look bored, I'm looking bored, it's showing in my face. It's like literally my face has become my mirror finally.
Okay. You don't follow a fixed format like reality shows on TV do. They call stars whose releases are eminent.
So we've had.
How do you drop your guest list?
So really, it's about the comfort two people share with each other. It's really like that's how I've always drawn combinations. It's like I chat with both people, ask them if they're comfortable with each other, and then make the combination.
Okay.
Many a time it's to do with them having done a film together, or sometimes it's happened that they have a release coming up and they do it because. But I try to keep the promotional episodes to the bare minimum because that's not the vibe of the show.
Yeah.
The vibe of the show is a freewheeling chat with a lot of candidness, a lot of frivolousness, not a lot of rubbish being discussed that has no consequence on what is important to the world. I'm not proud of that, but that's the vibe of the show. That's what it is. So I make the combination where I know two people will really jam well with each other.
Okay. We are living in particularly insensitive and intolerant times with people taking objection to any little thing.
Yeah.
So is that forcing you to pull your punches on the show this season?
Yeah, I mean, we are definitely like, I remember that there was a lot of chatter about, in the rapid fire, I used to ask questions about rank in order of. We've dropped that because I realized that was creating a lot of negativity. It's like, you're giving people rankings and like, it's not perhaps nice. Maybe that was an error made by me and I take full onus of that. So I felt that was the one aspect, this rank in order of.
Okay.
That was the only thing that I really dropped because I felt that was what was causing a lot of the fan clubs were getting like upset and people were like giving their opinions from their heart, but it was not reflecting well on them or being perceived wrongly in the media itself. So I just felt that now let's focus on the fun. Let's not focus on making it sensational or controversial. The idea is let's have more fun. People like to see celebrities having fun as well. It's also the fact that they can be comfortable because they know me and they can have a lot of fun. We don't know. I don't want some great scandals or revelations. And I don't ever ask anything, Mark, that's not in the public domain.
Okay.
I don't, because I know them personally. So I know what's going on in most of their lives. But I will not say that on camera because that's not fair to them. That's our friendship. But what's in the public domain, I will ask. If somebody's having an affair and it's written about, I will ask. Because I know it personally, I will not ask.
The gossip is that you've gone the OTT route this time because you wanted to avoid censorship on TV.
No. This is the new world. Hotstar is such a large, huge Disney Plus Hotstar is a massive platform. It's going to get the viewership. Digital viewership will be massive. It was a very strategic decision based entirely on numbers and the power of those numbers. It has nothing to do with me. I mean, I never watched what I said before and I wasn't planning to watch what I'm saying now. So, I mean, it's purely strategic. It has nothing to do with like worry for censorship.
You've shot a number of episodes already.
7 episodes. Yeah.
Has the vigilante social media made the younger stars more guarded about what they say?
They are much more guarded.
They
are definitely more guarded. They are more careful with their words. Yet the fun element hasn't left any of them because they're still having fun. Like maybe they don't mention names, but they insinuate enough.
Okay. If you could do one episode with one of the one leading American talk show host, who would it be and why?
Ellen DeGeneres, love her. Love her for her, just her brave, candid, informed, and easy demeanor.
Now, this question is a little tricky. You're an agony aunt, a 2 a.m. friend to a lot of people in the industry. But those same people, when you get them on your couch, you're like a naughty shrink,
Hmm.
you know, who puts them through embarrassing questions and gets them to reveal their dark, intimate secrets.
Well, I mean, I never ask it in an offensive manner. It's the manner in which you ask a question. I don't ask, and I don't say that tell me the truth. But even if you react to the question in a certain way, that's answer enough for me. Many a time they all deny it. Like, you know, they all deny their relationships. But I ask, I pester, I sit on their heads, and something will come out of it. But I do it in jest and do it in fun, and I never do it to make them uncomfortable. I've never had a moment where an actor sitting opposite me has been uncomfortable. The reverse has happened, where I have been uncomfortable, but it's never happened the other way around.
The media thinks you're a big source and a big recipient of gossip in Bollywood. Do you use what you hear on the show?
No.
No?
I use what I've read. What I heard, if I start talking, I don't know what will happen. So what I know of that I don't want the world to know, see, these are things that people are like club me with gossip or Kareena Kapoor, and you know they say that gossip. Who does gossip is what? Information about people in the industry. Everyone has that. Everyone talks about it. People on film sets are the biggest hubs of spreading news. It's not me. I'm not sitting like omnipresent in every film set. I only hear, but I would never ask somebody a question that I've heard in private about somebody that they would get thrown off by. So whatever I ask them is already been written about.
So there's no way anybody can say that Coffee with Karan is like a roast.
No. I mean, I do it in a way like it never comes across like. As I said to you, Mark, I have never made an art who's come on this show. That's why people have come multiple times. Why will they come multiple times? They will only come multiple times when they felt comfortable on the couch.
Did you miss Coffee with Karan during the pandemic? Were you watching the reruns?
No, I never watched the show.
You know what?
I've never watched my own show.
Why is that?
No, I don't like looking at myself. I never watch the TV shows I judge, the reality shows I judge, or award shows I host, or host this talk show. I don't watch anything. I never watch it.
If you were an actor, would you be afraid to come on to Coffee with Karan?
No, I'd love to. I'd wish I was invited.
Somebody told us, now I'm not going to name that source, but somebody very close to you, is that you don't really drink coffee.
No, I don't. There's Diet Coke.
Diet Coke out of that mug. Really?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's true.
So you're not a coffee drinker at all?
No.
You would never go into, let's say, Starbucks?
Yeah, I do, but sometimes to have a frappuccino. I don't drink like coffee, I drink tea.
So who do you go with, and what happens when you step into Starbucks? Does it
I
cause
don't.
a kind of
I don't
sensation?
step in. Like I mean, I.
Oh, you
send
stand
for it.
out.
Yeah. No, I don't even stand out. I send for it.
Now this is about your appearance. You're the most nattily dressed person on TV.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to get ready, and what is the thought process?
I've timed it. I know what I'm wearing. Eka, who's my stylist, is amazing. Her team is amazing. It's all lined up. We take all of 2 minutes to get into clothes and 22 to do hair and makeup. So all of 24 minutes, I'm ready. That's exactly, and I timed myself. It's only the days where a lot of my grey is showing and they have to color those greys so that I can maintain my Javani. Those are the days I may go to 28 minutes. But otherwise, it's 24 all included. I'll be out.
You've timed yourself.
Yeah. So I've done so many shows and all. I always tell them, call me half an hour before you need me. Don't give me a 2-hour heads up. I don't need it. I take exactly that long.
If you could take Coffee with Karan back in time and go to the US, who would you pick to have on your couch? Elvis Presley or Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson.
Why is that?
He's a mystery. He's a mystique. There's so much that still I wonder about him. You know, Elvis was much more an open book. At a time that life was more open also. With Michael Jackson, there is still a shroud of doubt around his entire being. And I've seen his interviews and I feel like he says all these things, but I feel that he's holding back a lot. So I would, as an interviewer, as a subject, if he was alive and was given the chance between the two, I would have loved to have interviewed Michael Jackson.
Now, this is a personal question. Is 2004 a bittersweet year for you? That was the year, November, when the show made its debut.
Yeah.
But it's also the year in which you lost your father.
Yes.
What would you have said about Coffee with Karan?
No, he knew. So what had happened is, and I haven't really mentioned this earlier, the idea of the show happened, and it's hilarious. When my father was alive, and I told him I have this thought. So he's like, अच्छा, तो अपने दोस्तों को बुलाओगे और बात करोगे? And I said, yeah. He's saying, और लोग देखेंगे ये? So I said, पता नहीं, but like, you know, Star seems interested. So I went and Star quoted a very minimal number, very tiny number, which I thought was too tiny and he thought was too much. He thought, but why would they pay you for your calling your friends, talking to them, जो तू रोज parties में करता है वो यही करेगा और लोग तुझे पैसे देंगे? Was his like, he couldn't understand. So I was like, he said, but तू करना क्यों चाहता है? तू तबस्सुम बनना चाहता है? Because तबस्सुम was the big reference.
Yes.
And she's the true iconic, like, and then there was Simi, you know. So he's like, तो तू ये ऐसे type of shows करना चाहता है और तू इतने पैसे क्यों देंगे तुझे? Like his whole thing was like, why will they pay you so much money? Like you're calling your buddies on a show और कहाँ set लगाओगे? And he was like okay about it. So then when he passed away, I actually took a few beats. I wasn't emotionally prepared, and then Star still pursued me, and I signed a contract for 2 seasons with them, and they paid me because I got some advice from other people. They paid me 5 times the number that my father was aware of to do those 2 seasons. Even then, I didn't think that the show would be what it was. But I still remember the first day it was telecast in November. I was actually oddly at a funeral when the telecast was happening. And it was a close family friend's grandparent who had passed away. So we were about 100 of us. And you know, phones that time, silent mode and all, one used to not think of. And suddenly I could feel at 8 or 9, whenever the telecast was, I could feel my phone was just buzzing. It was buzzing. And I was like, in the funeral, it was bizarre because it was such a like mixture of emotions. While everyone is sad in front of me, I was dying to also know, okay, what are people saying about the show? Because those days we were on iMessage, or it was, I don't even think it was BBM at that time. So
just SMS.
SMS it was, yeah. So I rushed out after the funeral, got into the car, and I suddenly I saw at least 100 messages.
Wow.
And I was like, oh dear, I didn't expect that the show would get this kind of reaction. And then it just began, the journey of Coffee just began. I'm sitting here 18 years later on the Coffee set, having done now 7 seasons. And I'm like, I can't believe that we lasted this long. Yeah, I never imagined it. It's not something I expected. It's not something I envisaged. It's not something I even dreamt of. Today, when people use like talk show host in the same breath as filmmaker, I should actually be worried because that's my primary passion. But I'm somehow proud of this show as well.
Thank you, Karan, for your time.
Yeah.
And good luck with season 7.
Thanks, Mark. Thank you.